What's up, guys? This is Webby back again for your 1999 Survivor Series review. Up to this point, the Survivor Series has shown us a lot of things. The Thanksgiving night tradition. We've seen the WWE transform it to the Thanksgiving Eve tradition. Teams of 5 compete. Teams of 4 compete. We've seen them transform it into singles and just regular tag team matches. The greatest creation of all time in The Undertaker debuted at this event and captured his first major championship at this event from the immortal Hulk Hogan. The Montreal Screwjob, amongst so many other things, happened at the Survivor Series. At this year's Survivor Series, the WWE had to go a different direction. The WWE had to change plans, had to step back and think, okay, one of our biggest superstars is hurt now. So who are we going to put the strap on? Who is going to take the ball and run with it? Because in the middle of this show, Stone Cold Steve Austin gets run over by a car. And the main event is up in the air. It was scheduled to be a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. The Rock versus Triple H versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not anymore. Throughout this entire event, Triple H and DX doing shenanigans, taunting The Rock, taunting Austin. And Austin, being who he is, being the redneck that he is, chased him all the way into the parking lot. And when he did, bam, hit with the car. Set up. Later on, we found out who it was on Monday Night Raw. But at this event, who is going to replace Stone Cold in the triple threat match? Turns out it was, well, it's the Big Show. Big Show. Paul White replaced Stone Cold Steve Austin, a guy who was making quite the impact in the WWE at the time, a guy who made quite the impact at this event and right before the show started, because he was supposed to face the Big Boss Man, Mideon, Viscera, and Prince Albert in a traditional Survivor Series matchup, and his tag team members were supposed to be Kai and Tai and the Blue Meanie, and he didn't want any tag team members. So on Sunday Night Heat, he just took apart Kai and Tai, and he just ripped apart the Blue Meanie, and he went in by himself. And the Big Show tore down the house by himself. He took out every member of the Big Boss Man's team, and then Big Boss Man hightailed it out of town. Because as we all know, at this time, the Big Boss Man and the Big Show was having a rivalry about the Big Show's dad's death, and the Big Boss Man took the casket and tied it up and took it out of the cemetery with Big Show on top of it. So a lot of these things was going on. Next thing we know, he's in the main event of the Survivor Series for the WWE Championship. And what happens? The Big Show is the new WWE Champion. It was a very good contest between The Rock, Triple H, and the Big Show. Big Show, of course, being the bigger guy, WWE's going to book it where he gets double teamed a lot. He did show off his talents some in this matchup. Rock and Triple H, who is really the main rivalry here, and it showed after this event as they continued on with that, and then it was put on hold for the Cactus Jack Triple H rivalry, as we all know, at the Royal Rumble, amongst other pay-per-views, amongst other rivalries. However, tonight it was all about the Big Show as he captured the WWE Championship. As far as the rest of the show, the Godfather, D'Lo Brown, and Headbangers took on the Dudley Boyz and the Acolytes. Who doesn't like a match that has the Godfather in it? Who doesn't get excited when he brings his train down the aisle? What made it a little more interesting was when D'Lo Brown and the Headbangers dressed up like the Godfather. Now, Bradshaw coming in and waffling D'Lo Brown and Bubba Ray in the head with steel chair, which ultimately got Devon Dudley and Farouk counted out, and he was disqualified. Bradshaw was. Kind of made it a guarantee that the Godfather and D'Lo Brown was going to win this matchup, and the Headbangers were quickly disposed of. But that's what everybody wanted to see anyway. The Godfather picking up the victory, and everybody dancing in the middle of the ring to open up the show. So fans got what they wanted at the opening matchup of the Survivor Series. Kurt Angle's debut. Now, a lot of fans would say Shawn Stasiak should have just been squashed. A lot of fans would say that they should have just let Kurt Angle debut the way they did Braun Strowman, the way they should have done Asuka, the way they should do most of the WWE superstars. I personally think that they debuted Kurt Angle the right way. He was already getting booed, showcased his talents. It showcased him coming back from partial beating. Kurt Angle picks up the victory anyway. And when he came out and he got out of the ring and he said, "You do not boo me. I came here for you. I'm an Olympic gold medalist." Blah, 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 blah. Everything else he said. Instant heel. Instant gold. Kurt Angle was made. So, there you go. Kurt Angle, part of the WWE. It was a very entertaining part of the Survivor Series when he went out and did his promo. But match, I like it better than just a normal squash match. Val Venis, Mark Henry, Gangrel, and Steve Blackman versus the British Bulldog and the Mean Street Posse. Mean Street Posse. Why in the world would they put them in a matchup? They were there to get tossed around like a rag doll. Could have done much better than that. I get why. British Bulldog inherited them from Shane McMahon. I get it. As far as Val Venis, Sexual Chocolate, Mark Henry, Gangrel, and Steve Blackman. Bunch of guys just thrown together. WWE always has that one match where they just throw a bunch of guys together in one ring and one team because they want to put them on the show. And they need somebody to get put on the show because they don't want to leave anybody out. That's what the Survivor Series is about. And Mean Street Posse gets tossed around. Rich Bulldog comes in, and what happens? Gets rid of Gangrel, gets rid of Steve Blackman. Mark Henry tosses him around like a rag doll. Venis finishes him off with the money splash. 1, 2, 3. One bad thing about this: you're burying WWE, the European champion. WWE always has a knack for that. But this is WWE we're talking about, and they always want to give the fans what they want. And the British Bulldog was a heel at this time, so of course they're going to bury him at one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. X-Pac versus Kane. DX getting the upper hand for the biggest part of this. Until towards the end, when DX had to come in and help Kane. This was ridiculous. This match was downright awful. Two ex-tag team partners going one-on-one. Kane wins by disqualification. Yeah. X-Pac hits Kane's manager. There you go. Chris Jericho versus China for the Intercontinental Championship. Entertaining match, very intriguing match. Could China overcome Chris Jericho, who is at the time playing a big baby every time he loses? And let's face it, WWE did a good job missing the camera, just putting the camera shot off of China when she did that pedigree off the top rope to Chris Jericho for the win. That was a very good job because that was just a bad pedigree. It was a good thing that China won. China did not need to drop the championship to Chris Jericho. Needed to be built up for somebody else. And that's exactly what happened. But China picked up the victory here. Really wish she would have done it clean instead of doing a low blow to Chris Jericho and then the pedigree. But WWE, having to make it look like that she has to take shortcuts to retain her championship. And that's exactly what they did here. Really wish they wouldn't have went down this route. Made it very... I don't know. It just sucked, honestly, how they pulled that off. The match itself wasn't bad, but the ending of it, kind of cringeworthy if you ask me. The Hollies and Too Cool versus Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys. This match, look, the Hardcore Hollies shouldn't have won. Was it a good match? Yes, but Hardcore Holly should not have won. If you look at what Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys have done after this throughout their career, the Hollies, no. Hardcore Holly shouldn't have won. They should have put Edge or Christian or one of the Hardy Boys over. That is the route WWE should have went, not with Hardcore Holly or Crash Holly, who weighed over 800 pounds, what they were saying they did. No. That was bad. I get it. Giving the old school guy the victory, but no, that's not how you do this. Should have gave Edge, Christian, or the Hardy Boys the victory, the rub in this matchup. And finally, the New Age Outlaws versus Al Snow and Mankind. Bang bang! Have a nice day! For the Tag Team Championship. Would it have been nice to see Al Snow and Mankind capture the Tag Team Championship? Absolutely. Would it have been nice? Yes. But they did on SmackDown. However, New Age Outlaws captured, retained the Tag Team Championship here. And there you go. Who cares? Does anybody care? Not really. It was a filler match between the last elimination traditional Survivor Series tag team match and the main event. That's it. This entire pay-per-view was built around that main event, and ultimately the WWE built it mostly around Stone Cold Steve Austin getting run over by that car. I hope you've enjoyed all of my classic Survivor Series reviews leading up to the Survivor Series tonight. Tune in tonight for my Survivor Series review immediately following the show. I'll have Clowny as my special guest. Should be an entertaining one. Starting after the Survivor Series, I will have classic Royal Rumble reviews leading up to the Royal Rumble this coming January. So tune in for those. Like and share this video. Follow me on Facebook at 2007Webby. Hit the subscribe button if you are not a subscriber yet. Hit the bell for all notifications. And until I see you again, this is Webby, and I'll catch you on the other side. Talk to you later.